Hello producers, it's Ozgun here and welcome to the channel. So a couple days ago Serum 2 is just released and everyone losing their mind. So I actually wanted to skip this video because there are tons of videos on YouTube already explaining how the Serum 2 works. But I got so many messages from you guys, so they want me to make a first look kind of video. So bear with me and let's explore the new features that come with the Serum 2, and if you're ready, let's jump to that video. So guys, this is Serum 2. It's finally here. It was on the beta testing for a while. My friends were on the beta, so I was getting news about this and I always wanted to take a look how this bad boy is gonna be. So it's finally here and there are many differences regarding the interface. Like now we have the third oscillator in here, which is totally new. And let's start with the oscillator. So like there are 5 different modes now. The wavetable is like the wavetable synth. This is what Serum is all about. And now we have like new analog and digital wavetables. They are super well crafted, so you gotta check them out by yourself. And now we got the multi-sample section, which is kind of new. It's like Nexus, you know. So maybe you know Nexus is like the sample-based synthesizer. So this is the multi-sample version of the Serum, is just exactly like that. So for each key, there is a different sample is loaded. So it's not generating the sound real time, but it's just playing the sample. Or like, for example, if you go to other presets, like the drums, let's say, I already just wrote some drum kit in here just now. So you can see that like for the different velocities, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different velocities, there are 5 different samples already loaded into this preset. So which means it's gonna play a different sample. And which is super cool. Now you can get super realistic instruments. For example, I just wrote this drum kit. In seconds, you know, there are like velocity differences, and hear how it sounds. And now we got kind of like a Nexus in our hands. So you can load sound fonts into these multi-sample oscillators. So which means I think people are gonna make like sample-based presets and they will just sell it like a sample packs. And you can get like a contact library or something like a Nexus. I think this is gonna be huge. And I'm sure there are many sound designers already, you know, brainstorming about this feature. So if you go to the sample, this is already something we know, you know, from the first version, but there are many different ways to its sampler to manipulate the sample. So you can drag and drop a sample in here. And for example, you don't want a one shot, you can just a loop version of it. Or maybe you can just change the loop point. Now you can be able to create this LFO kind of transition sounds with couple clicks. It's so easy now. Yeah, there are many different ways to manipulate the sample. You can, yeah, have different modes. Or for example, let me load some, maybe a bass in here. Okay, let's say this one. So let's activate oscillator B. Now we have a different warp modes, you know, you can go here. The old frequency modulation is now called PD, phase distortion, I think, I'm not sure. This is the old one. And FM, this FM is a new one. This is more close to the analog realm. So let's choose FM from B. And now the oscillator B is gonna modulate the oscillator A, which we loaded a sample. Let's see how it sounds. Okay, now we are doing the Skrillex stuff. You can just put some, I don't know, a digital, let's say, a wavetable to the oscillator B. You can create super cool bass patches, for example, like this. And even, for example, if you change the wavetable position of the B, it's gonna affect the main sound. Or even you can activate oscillator C and put totally different wavetable. And then let's go something crazy. And then you can choose oscillator B also get affected by oscillator A. Like, let's go do that. Let's go this time again. Let's do frequency modulation, FM from C this time. Also now we have the granular mode, which means like you just divide the sounds as grains, you know, like a pixel of a sound. Let's choose a different sound for that. And just explore, guys. You can create sick pads with it. Or like background sounds. You know, for the breakdowns, you can create super atmospheric ambient stuff. And imagine, let's go to FX. Let's add some reverb to it. And we got a huge new type of reverbs, by the way. For example, we can go like, we had plate and hall, but now vintage, nitrogenous, and basin. And maybe some chorus. And some compression, maybe multiband. I love the interface of this FX section, by the way. Let's put another sample. Indeed, very fun to explore again. And we also got the spectral mode, so you can just explore. I still don't know what exactly this mode is. I'm gonna take a look. So now we got like a different LFOs also. Let's talk about it. Now we got a free mode, like this path mode in the LFO, and you can literally draw like any curve you like. And let's connect this LFO to, for example, the level, so we can hear how it works. And I was just taking a look with this different stuff. Let me go back to normal. For example, we can just go to some rhythmic ones. Let me lower the effect. So also we got two new filters. Let me revert to the initial preset. So we got filter 1, filter 2. And for example, you can have a bass sound. Let's say a sound like this. So, and let's say we want to just layer this bass sound, another sound, you know, a top sound. But if we do that, like if you put another sound, the low end is going to be clash, right? So there will be two wavetables are going to try to fight for the same spot. So this is what happens with the old version and with all of the other synthesizers. Now we can do something like that. We can activate the filter 2, for example, and in the filter 2, this time we can make a low cut, high pass, low cut, something like that. And for example, we can just route the second wavetable to filter 2 only. And the first one, filter 1. So now we just layered two different wavetables. Low ends are clashing. Low ends are separated. This is super important for bass sound design. For example, the second one, let's make it band pass, something like that. Let me find it. See, the low ends are totally untouched and now they are not clashing with each other. This feature is, I think, very nice, like having two filters and ability to send them both or just send only one filter, which is perfect. And if you go to the mixer, by the way, there are like huge changes. It's like we have a whole DAW in our hand. So now you have like the buses in here. So what can you do with the buses? For example, you can just go to the bus. In here, in the FX section, we can add some, let's say, reverb to that bus. And this is going to be the synth, right? We got to make it 100% wet. And then in the mixer, so for example, oscillator A, it can only go to the bus 1 to get a little bit of reverb. Now you see, like, we are creating return synth tracks inside of the Serum. And for example, with this way, you can add a filter and maybe you can just get rid of the low frequencies of the reverb for a more cleaner reverb. Let me turn off the filters. Or let's say we have this envelope. And you can do stuff like that. Or you can do parallel process for your sounds. For example, you can send this sound also to the bus 2. And in the bus 2, you can have like some crazy distortion. And now the bus 2 is only playing the distortion. So this is normal sound. This is with distortion, parallel distortion. And then the other good thing, like now you can, for example, add, I don't know, 5 filters. So now there are like no limitations for whichever plugin you are adding to the FX chain. The first version, like I was needing multiple filters most of the time, but it was limiting me as hell. So now I have so much freedom. Also, this splitter is very nice. So you can split your sound to lows and highs. And for example, you can add some distortion to the highs only and not to the low. So it's like a crossfade, so it's not gonna affect the low frequencies. So now you can just multi-band process your sounds. which is very nice feature. Also, let's go init preset. Maybe we can talk about the arpeggiatos as well. So now there are cool arps in the Serum. Now it's more like a diva, it's more complicated. And also you can have like 12 different arpeggiato sequencer in here. You can just, for example, play one of them. So let me play some chords. And let's go to the ARP, and maybe we can make it 12, and maybe we can make the range 2. Or maybe now you can just sync the ARP to the hertz, and again you can make cool LFOs like this. Or even you can just literally slow down your ARP very easily. This is gonna be huge sound design for your tracks. You can use it on the transitions. I also use this kind of tricks on my Acid Sabotage track. I released it on last year. Like slowing down the ARP is a very nice way to make a transition from drop to break or break to drop. And other than that, we got this clip section in here, which is like a huge MIDI sequencer, like a huge piano roll we have. For example, we can drag drop MIDIs to here. So I have several 303 MIDIs. Let's drag drop one of them. And let's activate the clip and press play. Let's get some 303 preset and see how it works. By the way, the presets are also awesome in this new version. Okay, let's use this one. I'm gonna go to clips. It already comes with some sequencer. So I'm gonna drag drop some any. It's too low. Let's put them to the higher octaves. Or maybe check this one. All you gotta do is just drag drop your own MIDI files to them. And let's put them in the higher octave. And now maybe we can take a look of the presets. So for example, I really enjoy the preset of the kick makers in the drum section. So there are like several kick designers. So the kick heavy is my favorite. Just take a look how it sounds. So you can just create this kind of kick, and then with some LFO shaper, you can just render and do it manually, by the way. Get rid of the tail, and you can have a very nice analog sounding kick. And let's check, I didn't try this, but can we drag drop the sound we make, just like the first Serum? Yes, there should be some hidden key. Yeah, we can just drag drop the sample we made. And I can just use this like a main kick, like a, it sounds very analog, right? So all you gotta do is just put a top kick and you can just easily create your own patches on sounds like this. So there are very cool presets like the A-sits, the drums, they are huge, they are very nice. Also guys, check this multi-sample presets as well. There are like hidden gems in here and I can't wait to see the Serum 2 sample packs in multi-sample form. So you can just dive deep into every single new feature and explore and dig it for hours, shoot videos for hours. But yeah, for the first look kind of video, this is my first impressions how the Serum 2 works. So I see the Serum 2 as a sandbox for me and I'm a child just playing inside of the sandbox and exploring, taking my time and having fun. So today that was it guys. I hope this video was useful for you. Please let me know what you think about the Serum 2 in the comment section. See you on the next video. Bye bye.